Let's see if it actually works. Can anyone hear me? Nope, it ended the stream. Dismiss. Let me just do the analytic. That was annoying. Cool, that fixes that. We broke the stream. Oh, that was annoying. Alright. It's because if you tap it ever so slightly, it breaks it. And it's really annoying. I'm going to have to plug it somewhere else so I don't tap it accidentally. There we go. We'll just have to wait for everyone to catch back up. Ooh, double. Elysium. So it's not her.
If there's anything you can trust,
I don't care about you.
please. I may be a master.
Pilgrim? Another pilgrim?
You're so adorable. I'll get rid of anything standing in your way. Anything.
You know what? I'll take her just because she's kinky and hot.
Soldier OW.
I probably need to save some for probably need to save some for when Neon drops. But we're oh, I mean, I've got a bunch of free summons anyway, the token stuff. What are we at anyway? Oh, we get an extra 10 now, so 10 more. You get another pilgrim.
I said I would protect you, Commander, and I will.
You know what? I'll take her.
What are your...
I'll take her. We'll take it. I could buy her if I was really desperate, because I've got 200. I got 200. Well, it's 200 to buy it, and it's 220. But I don't really want to spend that. So... And I have a bunch of other regular summons that I can do, but I don't really care about the regular summons. Because Neon's going to drop probably in a week or so, so I don't really want to overdo hers. And I want to get her as well. Well, there's her. I got an extra of her.
I feel greatly honored to be thus bestowed with the highest regard.
She should be down the bottom somewhere. There she is. Excellent. Alright. Will I play netherless to etherless? Probably not, no.
I should be able to protect more people now, right?
How long have I been streaming for? Technically, I just started because I broke the stream, but for like 30 minutes at most. Let's have a look. Where is she? There she is. If she's Tetris or Tetra, I just want to steal gear from other characters. No, I don't care about that. Wish I could look it up based on type. That's Miller's. I want Tetra. I want a chick from Tetra that I can steal all the gear from. That's a Pilgrim. That's the problem. Actually, you're Tetra. Unequip. I don't care about you. Beautiful, much better. Now we got all the good gear on her. I don't know if I'll be able to max her out on all her skills right away. But I'll have to upgrade a bunch of other stuff. Who else can I remove off of that? Yeah, you can get off there. I'll read it later.
still get all giddy like this even after all this time?
Have you read Backstab in the Black Waters Dungeon? No, I haven't yet. I'll quickly do some more summons, because I really want to get another one of her. But I also don't want to use the tokens. I don't know yet. Why are so many Christians against corn? A lot of it's their personal belief. I get frustrated with a lot of Christians on the right that are pushing very heavily against trying to ban everything. I've gotten into a lot of confrontations with Christians as of late that are very pro-censorship, yet they try and preach that they're against censorship. The problem is, and I find a lot of Christians try to twist the interpretation of the Bible to kind of work with whatever they want to push forward. And that's one of the biggest problems that I have. Are you trying to prism? I do want to get more than one version of her. And I do have the tickets for her, but I want to use it for Neon. Because I don't care as much about maxing Neon out, but I still want to get her when she drops. But it's like a internal battle in my brain. Because Neon drops in like... Oh, I'm going to the event. Whoops. Because I got to do the mini game as well at some point more. Related story. Oh yeah, there. And I can get more summon tokens. Oh, Christians are funny when it comes to saying that they don't like gay people and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they'll have tattoos and stuff. And there's also specific Christians that have been actively claiming that they're not against censorship, but they actively try and like attack, you know, the lolly community, the corn community and all the rest. But they have a long history of making the specific content that is deemed inappropriate, and they try and wipe their history of it. What is the visual novel exactly? This is NIKKE. It's not... Technically it is kind of a visual novel. It's a visual novel. I could show you the gameplay. I'll show you one map. I'll show you one map. I just wanted to see... Because I can summon more of those. Actually, nah, I don't really want to waste gems on that. I'll show you a bit of gameplay, just because everyone's kind of curious about it. I don't want to do the campaign. I prefer to play the campaign off stream because I just enjoy watching it on my own. But we'll go through this one. This is a high difficulty. And I'll show you the gameplay.
Encounter. As long as we're together.
Autocomplete. Ah.
One of those encounters everyone is talking.
Behold. Me not playing the gameplay, but gameplay playing itself.
I'm not alone. We're all in this together. All right, let's keep going.
I'll just remove myself out of the equation. There you go.
I'll do my best. Cheer me on.
Enjoy. This is the gameplay. It's just a shooter simulator. I am just letting it auto go though, so I'm not doing anything. Oh, she died? God damn it. Maybe I might actually participate. Oh my god.
Let me clear my throat.
If they die, I'll do the map properly. Generally, I don't have to do anything. See, you complete the map generally without needing to do anything. Because they're strong enough characters.
The story will be rewritten into a tale that's happy and beautiful.
But that's the gameplay. It's basically just click shoot kind of thing. But the story is really good. Like, ignoring the gameplay, the story for NIKKE is really good, and the music, bon appetit. I mean, I'm trying to pull them out. I have all of the soundtracks so far currently out for the NIKKE story. Like, they all have, like, different soundtracks for all the different campaign stories. So, I've been getting them all. They're all on CD. They're all wrapped. I can hear it moving. I can feel it moving. But yeah. I love the soundtracks for these games. The music for these games is really good. Like, the music alone is really good for NIKKE. They have some of the best soundtracks. But I'm just debating on if I want to... Why did I go back to the story? I keep going to the event. What's my favorite OST? I don't really have one yet, because I really need to listen to all of them very, like, but I just like them all. Right now, I've been listening to the new one that just dropped, which is Anisa's song. Like, the concert one. There's a helicopter. It's like 12 o'clock at night and there's a helicopter out there? Jeez, someone's done something wrong. But I hate corn, but I'm not a fan of censorship either. I prefer the option to avoid it. See, fan service is not corn. I mean, yeah, but a lot of real diehard Christians see fan service as corn, so... That's one of the concerns. I wouldn't mind trying to summon all the way up to 180. I mean, what have I done? I need another 40 to do that. I just don't know if I want to use my gems right now. I'm wondering if I want to save up for near 11:44. It's almost midnight. It's almost midnight. It's close enough. Is it true there's a collaboration with Chainsaw Man? Yes, there was one with ReZero as well. And we just had one with, I didn't play the game when they did those collaborations, but I was part of... I'll show you one of the collaborations that I played during. I got her. She doesn't even have a voice actor. Oh, sorry, she has the sub. There's no dub voice actor for her, because generally all the characters have dub voice actors, except the event ones. So I got her. I do have the other character as well. I just never... They give you that unit for free. Pretty much. If you do the event. Where's the other character? She's somewhere down here because I haven't boosted her. There she is. Grimgar Ashes. I haven't read it. I've watched the anime. So that's one of the events. If you go through the website, one of like the websites for tier sets, for tiers, they did ReZero. They've done Neron, whatever you call it, the one with the robot chick. They've done Stellar Blade, but Stellar Blade is the same company. So the people that made Stellar Blade made this game. So they naturally did a collab with this one as well. So Licorice Road. Yeah, I mean I call it Licorice. Yeah, they did a collab with that. I think that went for like 2 weeks. I got all the characters in it. I got that very luckily. I think I got her in the first 10 poll, and I got 2 of her. And then they did another one for the other characters. So they did 2 banners. She's from the same anime. The comment right above you, Candy Sensei, that's the anime, because I can't spell it. The Eva was done in 2 parts. That's right. They did Evangelion as well. A collab with that. I kind of wish they'd bring some of the old collabs back. Because I wasn't part of them when they did it. but I've been saving for basically Anise. I just don't know if I really want to blow my gems. I'm very hesitant. You know what? Let's do it. We got her pretty quickly. We got her within 40 pulls, but I want another one. And I've still got all the extra tickets there, so... Worst case, I'll save it for summoning Neon with the tickets. Oh, that's a double. Oh, yeah, Fortnite does the stupidest things. Elysium. Ah, it's not her. What did I get?
I'm a hard worker. You can count on me.
It's a lolly. Ew. I don't want a filthy lolly. Alright, another 30 summons and then we get an extra 10 pull. Oh! Would you date any gotcha game characters? Anise. Oh! At least, ugh, it's Elysium.
I'm a hard worker.
You know what?
On me.
The game knew that I insulted lollies and it made me summon it again. Ken's like, how dare you insult the lolly? You get another one. Oh. Well played, game. Well played. Oh, it's Millicus.
I'm happiest whenever I get to eat something sweet.
Nice to meet you.
You can get an item now? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to get the other item. 20 more. Come on, just gimme. Ugh. 10 more. Come on. 1. Tetra. Come on, go in. Yes.
Say hello to the unsung. You don't need to fear because I'll light the way.
Good. We got a double. I'll take it.
Nicely done. Where to next?
I still want more of her, but
Nice to meet you.
I'll take it. Where is she anyway? Oh, there she is. I'll upgrade her gear afterwards, because I want to make her...
What do you think? Better than Rappy and Neon, right? Admit it.
Excellent. Because I'll upgrade all her stuff. Because I could probably upgrade her thing here now. So, easy peasy. I'll do that later. Do you collect Nendroids? No. I just collect normal figures. I'm a puritist. I don't like Nendroids. Not a fan of Nendroids, personally. Oh, God, I want to be greedy and go for another one. I really do. I really do. Oh. I really want to be greedy. Should I be greedy? Figmas? I don't do Figmas. I don't do Figmas and I don't do Nendroids. I just do regular figures. I don't like fiddling, like, with a lot of figures, I don't like having all the extra spare parts. Even though I have some spare parts when it comes to some figures, I like just buying the figure, putting it together, and having it on display. Almost like it's like a statue, right? I don't like having all the extra fiddly stuff. What about Summer Anise? I don't have Summer Anise. I really want her, but that's why I'm making up for it with this. If you want to see what she looks like in combat, because I won't show it probably. Oh yeah, they've also got skins for her too, but
Let me catch my breath.
I think it's bugged. She's not moving. They got the skins too. I don't know when these are releasing. I think they're going to be releasing soon. Amiibos? I've got a lot of Amiibos. They're all in the other room. I want to get her skins. Like, God, look at that. That's pretty cool. I think they're going to be doing one of those little pull things for her where you can get both in the same go. But we'll see. Oh yeah, a lot of these are very, very fan service. This is a very fan servicey game. If you don't like fan service, this game is not going to be for you. Be greedy. Yeah, I kind of want to get another one. Next week. Yeah, they'll probably drop her skins next week. I'm probably going to be a loser and probably get the skins. I like that.
I'm going to become a star for everyone.
You know what's funny? They release figures of all these characters in their skin models. Like, that's the funny part. Like, they'll probably release a figure of, like, that, but they'll release a figure of that. 100%. They do heaps of figures for all the different, outfits. Let's do it.
Soldier OW, your orders.
Oh! Come on! Yes! Oh, that's 2. Alright, so we got 3 of us so far. Can we... Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I'm getting greedy now. I just want to get the bonus there.
Nicely done, soldier.
Oh, come on!
You don't have to appear the dark because I'll light the way.
Oh my god! Are you skipping Neon? No, I'm not. I'm gonna get Neon. I'm gonna at least get one copy of her. But I really wanted to get 3 copies of Anise so I can max her stars out. So the reason why I want 3 copies of her is so I can max her stars out. So those that don't understand. God, I could... So, with her here, right, just up here, they've got the stars up here. And you get extra ranks with the relationship, so it gives extra stats. And then it's just, yeah. You can max it even further beyond the 3 stars. You can take it up to like 10 more. But I just want to get the 3 stars. That's generally it. So...
Now that I've got a reason to become stronger, I'm feeling pretty motivated.
And then, of course, you get an extra reward as well. But yeah, there we go. So we've got her fully starred out. And then I can max out her relationship as well. I'll max out her gear afterwards. And I'll try and farm up those so I can max that out. I've got a bunch of resources for it. I'm pretty sure... like here. I saved these up deliberately. I don't even know if I can make this go faster or not. I'm just going to do it this way. There we go. And there you go. Boom. Get an extra one. So, and then I'll just max the rest of it out later. But that's why I wanted the 3 stars, just to make sure I had her. But when it comes to Neon, I'll... Neon or whatever you say her name is, I'll just get 1 copy. Which is fine... because I have the tickets for her. So, when she drops, I've got almost 400 there. So, I'll just buy her through here. I could buy Anise if I wanted to. But I don't need to. So, I'll just save the tickets and I'll do that. Otherwise, I could just use the 160,000... gems that I have, but I prefer not to use my gems because I want to save it for any good units that I want later on, like what I've done here. I didn't really use that many. I think I did what, like 200 summons in total, maybe 200 plus. I wouldn't mind doing like another 40 just to get the extra 10 pulls here, but that's really probably about it. But that's fine. But I got what I wanted. I could probably change her background if I wanted to. Let's see. I don't even know how to change the background sometimes. Let's have a look. I got a bunch of the event ones. I could probably get cutscene. Oh, there we go.
I will be the star of the art.
There we go. See, just change the background.
I will be the star of the art.
Ta-da! Easy peasy. What else is there? I wouldn't mind going over this for the stream. Oh, my back. You can marry your cousin in Alabama? I don't have any cousins. Oh, no, I actually do have cousins. I have 1 cousin. Actually, 3 cousins. 4, 5. I don't know. I don't talk to my family. All my family is either dead or I just don't know where they are. So, that's just me. UK tried to ban marrying your first cousin, but they didn't because The reason why they didn't is because of who they've imported into their country. But the funny thing is, they want to ban story-based step-related like relationships in fiction, but they won't ban cousin marriages because literally the people that they're importing over do that stuff anyway. So, but at least with the NIKKE summons, we did well. I'm happy with that.
So I'm nailing this midget when my mom walks in. And then the midge screams out, "What? A police station! Thank God! I never thought I'd be happy to see one of those things. Hey, put the donuts down! Drop the Krispy Kreme, Serpico! We need your help
You
here!"
my house look like my father and my brother after 9 months or
Yeah, boogity-diggity-diggity-diggity-diggity-diggity-diggity!
Shirotami, please forgive me for bringing you back to life.
You know what's funny about, like, scuffed dobs? And before I even get into this video, I always find it funny whenever people run to this particular series, which is Ghost Stories. They always say, oh, but people really liked the ghost stories, so that's why doing bad dubs is okay. And it's like, most people that talk about ghost stories in any positive light are generally reaction channels that do reactions to these. And they don't even watch the actual anime. They just watch the compilations on YouTube and go, look, it's a funny anime. That's it.
I know now that it could never work between us. As much as we wanted to, it could never be. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
Since the late 2000s, the Ghost Stories dub has been a popular fixture in the online anime community because of the liberties taken with its dubbing. Ghost Stories follows Satsuki, who after moving back to her mother's hometown, discovers that many of the ghosts previously sealed away by her mother are being freed due to the town's urbanization, and it's up to Satsuki and her friends to seal those ghosts away again. The story behind this dub has always been that the show did so poorly in Japan that the Japanese producers told the dubbing company, ADV Films, that they could have free range to change whatever they had to in order to make the show profitable. ADV was told that they couldn't change character names, the names of ghosts, or how the ghosts were defeated, but aside from that, the actors were allowed to ad-lib their lines, essentially turning the show from a children's adventure series to a raunchy comedy. This claim has been backed up by employees at ADV Films for years, but surprisingly, after only a few weeks of digging, I was able to prove that this is not the full story. And what happened to Ghost Stories has more to do with a strange obsession held by one of the key staff members at ADV Films, as well as years of misinformation.
It's actually kind of funny because a lot of the people that did the voice acting in this are very much woke now, as the people like to refer to.
Information and miscommunication.
Most people that liked this never truly watched it in its full entirety. They just watched the clips and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, all the people that praise this only ever watched it through the clips and the YouTube shorts or the YouTube compilations. They never really actually watched the anime because there's nothing really interesting to watch the anime. It's just those silly moments that people obsess over. And that's why it's always funny when you see those AniTubers that constantly say doing these dubs is fine because of this was popular. And it's like, no, this really wasn't that popular. It just became popular when it became a more reactionary type thing. That's why you see all those channels out there that do reactions to it. But of course, those AniTubers are disingenuous tourists, so they always use this as a prop up. And Mother's Basement's one of them, and I mean, no surprise with Mother's Basement, he's literally friends with activists that vandalize animes. Like, is this funny? But this would be more appropriate as a fan sub than an actual official sub.
Unlike most anime that begin their life as manga, Ghost Stories began as a series of children's books written by Toru Tsunemitsu. Tsunemitsu was a middle school teacher who started writing the series in 1985, inspired by the ghost stories he'd hear from his students. 9 volumes were published between 1990 and 1997, and they quickly became bestsellers. In 1995, the books were adapted into a film that became the 4th highest grossing film in Japan of that year and won a Japanese Academy Award for Best Screenplay. This spawned a series of films released throughout the 90s, a straight-to-video anime in 1996, and a Sega Saturn FMV game based off the film. In 2000, following the anime boom of the late 90s, a TV anime aired with a total of 20 episodes. While airing on Sunday evenings, the show pulled in an average viewer rating between 12 and 14%, with the lowest still being around 10%. For perspective on what makes good ratings versus bad ratings, Genesis Climber Mosquito was cancelled 13 episodes early, having received between 3 and 6% during its initial airings, while Dragon Ball, considered a success, scored an average of 9% throughout the late 80s and 90s. There's always other factors to consider when you're deeming a show so successful, such as the case of Kishan, which received an average audience rating of 15.9%, but was cancelled due to the Japanese recession at the time, and one of its sponsors declaring bankruptcy almost as soon as the show went into production. That being said, Ghost Story's 12 to 14% in the midst of an anime boom that followed the success of Evangelion was considered very high, and the show had a loyal fan base, bolstered by the success of the books and films that preceded it. The show did so well that an additional episode was created as a special, airing several months after.
As someone said, it's so basically like Japanese Goosebumps. Yeah, it's basically Japanese Goosebumps. And I expect it would do something good like that. And honestly, it probably would have done better if it had a proper dub in the West, but anime back then probably wasn't really doing that well in the West. It was still growing, but it just wasn't really quite there.
The show completed. If you've never heard of this special, it's because in the West, it was actually moved to be episode 19, since it's set chronologically before the end of the show. This would theoretically make the episode count 21 episodes, except that episode 3, titled Am I Beautiful Kuchisake Onna, faced backlash from parental groups fighting to raise awareness for children with cleft palates, as it focused on the Japanese urban legend of Kuchisake Onna, or the slit mouth woman. This parental group claimed that the slit mouth woman's scars resembled a cleft palate, and would result in children being bullied, leading to a protest that pressured Fuji TV to pull the episode. In its place, Fuji TV aired a special edition episode, made from edited scenes of episode 1 and 2, and the episode with the slit mouth woman was never seen again, the only known trace of it being the next episode preview recorded from a fan who was recording the second episode when it originally aired. If the ratings numbers don't satisfy you, then surely the fact that only 2 episodes were enough to spark a protest, and the fact that the series received a special after it concluded, should prove that this had a following. On January 11th, 2004, premium cable channel Animax launched its first broadcast in Asia outside of Japan. The channel was available in Hong Kong, India, Singapore, and several other markets in East Asian countries, where it aired anime 24/7. Because they aired in countries like Singapore, the Philippines, and parts of Hong Kong where they have native English speakers, the anime were often aired in Japanese with English subtitles, or in the case of their more popular shows, received low-budget English dubs.
No way! Where's he getting all that spirit energy from? Of course. He's using his body's own life energy. Is he really going to sacrifice his life for that girl?
Don't die on me now, Rube.
Why would I do that? Tonight's poker night and it's my turn to make the chili.
Darn straight.
You jerk! What did you do to Grandpa?
I only dueled with him using the most valuable cards in my deck.
In 2004, Ghost Stories was dubbed in English as Ghost at School and aired on Animax.
No, please. You see, I was always alone, without any friends. Shiratabi was the only one who was ever kind to me.
But Mio,
The day Shiratabi died, I was broken-hearted. I was all alone again. You see, my only friend had been taken away from me. But now, Shiratabi's back with me.
Being on a premium cable channel and aired late at night, which is when they usually aired their dub programs, it's likely it didn't do well ratings-wise. A year later, the series would make its way to America, where ADV Films, best known for the original dub of Neon Genesis Evangelion, gained the rights to the series. The dub was directed by Stephen Foster, who encouraged his voice actors to ad-lib jokes, turning the series into the black comedy we know it as today. According to ADV Films, this was encouraged by the Japanese rights holders, who said the show did so poorly in Japan that they could do anything to make the show sell, as long as they didn't change the character names, names of ghosts, how to defeat the ghost, and plots of the episodes. For years, this has been the explanation online as to how the anime became what it is, but to me this didn't make sense. For starters, a lot of the behind-the-scenes information circulating the internet regarding the Ghost Stories dub comes from a very poorly written article on the site ranker.com, and this article is even cited on the official English-language Wikipedia page for the series. The website most...
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be using the Wikipedia page because that stuff is just mostly rubbish anyway.
...consist of clickbait articles and user-created lists seemingly attempting to emulate the website BuzzFeed. One of the most egregious errors in this Ghost Stories article is that the producer, Aniplex, is mistakenly referred to as Animax, causing confusion as Animax did air the show on their channel, but had no ownership over the series and had no part in negotiating the overseas license. This led to my first theory as to how the Ghost Stories dub came into being, which was miscommunication.
So basically, similar situations when it comes to a lot of fake rumors going around, or he said, she said kind of things within the anime community. Because it reminds me of, for example, Class and the Elite. I remember when I was first covering anime news, and I covered Class and the Elite, and I was talking about the chance of a season 2 back then, because season 2 wasn't announced. And I was talking about how I could see season 2 being announced. And I remember a large portion of the community came after me and said, no, you don't know what you're talking about. The anime sold poorly, the author hated it, it's basically scrapped, it will never get a season 2 because it got boycotted in Japan. And I found out later on that that was all made up stories. It was all fabricated. Everything was fabricated. It was never boycotted. The author wasn't unhappy with it. And guess what? It got a season 2. It got a season 3. And it got a season 4. So it demonstrates that the Western community makes up a lot of rubbish. And that was one of my first major lessons when covering anime news, that a lot of these places just make up rubbish. And a lot of content creators used to peddle that as well. But the problem was that if you ever said the opposite, the anime community would attack you and be like, no, you're wrong, it's this, because they based it on, well, that person said it, so it has to be true. And so it just became sort of like an urban myth and legend in the anime community that, oh, well, this is the story. And it's like, this is why it's important that there is a lot of like sifting through the facts and trying to dig through it. But a lot of the clickbait articles and websites, they just make shit up. They just don't care.
Possible that when the Japanese rights holders sold the show to ADV, they told them the show did poorly airing in other Asian markets on Animax, which ADV may have easily misunderstood as thinking they meant the show did poorly in Japan. ADV was allegedly told to do whatever you have to in order to sell the show, which doesn't fit the circumstances at all. It's been confirmed that ADV was told they couldn't change the character names, names of ghosts, core plots, etc., which sounds like an attempt to preserve the integrity of the show while also feeling somewhat complacent towards it, which may have been a result of the show doing poorly in reruns, plus the lack of merchandising for the show and the show doing poorly in other Asian markets. Another point of contention is that both ADV and their reincarnation Sentai Filmworks are notorious for changing characters, dialogue, and sometimes the entire tone of a show without the consent of the Japanese owners. For example, Sentai's dub of Guen Saga, which started as a standard dub, but after the first DVD set received middling reviews, they decided to do this.
The Chancellor of Rigel, Andonus. Is there something you wish to say?
No, Betty.
Are you sure about that?
You are kidding me. If you have something to ask, perhaps you are thinking that there is something which I must say to you. Is that...
Wait, there's Miel. I am sorry. Forgive me, Father. But I want to leave the kingdom in his hands.
Princess, about that. We just got word. Lord Miel has been assassinated. I know, and only 14 years old.
This isn't an outtake reel, this is the official dub, but more accurately, it's a middle finger.
Oh
and by
my
no
God.
coincidence, the man who directed this
And this is what Mother's Basement and his little goons wanted to try and defend.
dub is also the man behind the Ghost Stories dub, Stephen Foster. One of Foster's earliest examples of these changes, which he playfully calls Fosterizations, was in the show Orphan. On his own website, Foster proudly claims that he changed a character in that show to be gender non-binary when they weren't in the original, as well as changing handfuls of
Why am I not surprised?
dialogue, which led to such harsh fan backlash that he was forced to make sure the latter half of the show kept closer to the original Japanese script. In his partially biographical book, The Last Alias, Foster talks about his life and work. Foster worked at an advertising agency while writing screenplays in his free time, and at the time of being hired by ADV Films had just been denied representation from an agent in LA, where he was trying to sell his work. Foster had never heard of anime, but applied for the job and was hired. As shown, Orphan wasn't the only time Foster changed an anime simply for his own pleasure. In 2004, ADV attained the rights to the show Super Milk-chan, a low-budget surreal comedy series full of references to Japanese pop culture. Unsure how a faithful dub of such an odd show would do, and desperate to get more titles on Cartoon Network, an Americanized version of the show was created, with Foster serving as the ADR director and writer. Alongside editing the visuals, this dub also added live action segments, seemingly inspired by The Office. However, these scenes are excruciatingly boring. The overall plot occurring over the segments isn't clear, and focus jumps between so many different characters with such aimless dialogue, it's hard to get a grasp of anyone's personality or what anyone is supposed to be doing. According to Foster's website, both dubs were offered to Cartoon Network, who opted for the faithful dub. 1 year later, Foster was told by Griffin Vance, one of ADV Films' attorneys, that he was going to be working on a new show that bombed in Japan. It did so poorly that they didn't even charge a licensing fee, and they said ADV could do whatever they wanted so long as they follow a short list of criteria. This dub was Ghost Stories, and this account came straight from Foster himself. Despite my dislike of how Foster puts his own interest before the product he's working on or fans of that product, I believe him when he says this is how it happened. But then the issue arises that we already know Ghost Stories didn't do poorly in Japan. We don't know exactly what Vance was referring to when he first reached out to Foster, but there are two prevailing theories. Number 1, Vance was told that Ghost Stories did poorly in reference to its run on Animax, and since Animax ran in Asia, he figured they were talking about Japan. A simple mistake. Number 2, Vance saw the contract was extremely loose in its wording and brought it to Foster knowing how much he enjoyed personalizing scripts. It's unclear if Vance created this story through a genuine misunderstanding, if he was given the wrong information by someone else, or if he created the story simply because he enjoyed Foster's work and wanted to see more of it. How the misinformation was passed around ADV is unclear, but after a bit of investigation, we actually do know why the Japanese side was so loose and didn't charge a licensing fee. According to a Japanese Ghost Stories fan blog, there was a prevailing theory in Japan that the show was cancelled due to its graphic nature. Despite its popularity among children, it was garnering a lot of disdain from parents due to its dark imagery and the Kuchisaki Onna controversy. It didn't help that at the time, Fuji TV's slogan was Fuji TV for mothers and kids. So the theory was that it was cancelled because it was deemed unacceptable for families. However, it turns out even Japan has rumors about this show perpetuated for years. And in actuality, it seems like what happened with Ghost Stories is simply that it was concocted as a filler program. Prior to Ghost Stories' premiere, Fuji TV wanted to move the time slot of One Piece from Wednesday night to Sunday at 7:30 p.m. This time slot was occupied by GTO, which was expected to end in September of 2000. But Fuji TV didn't want to change the time slot immediately, as they saw a large ratings drop when Rurouni Kenshin changed time slots abruptly, following the anime's production shift from Studio Gallop to Studio Dean. Thinking it was better to wait for the start of the spring anime season, Fuji TV decided to create a filler program to fill that time slot until it was time for One Piece to make the change. GTO was published by Kodansha, so they wanted another Kodansha title to fill that time slot in the meantime.
It's kind of interesting hearing about that name with the recent drama that's just happening with them.
Before they could give it to Shueisha. The School Ghost Stories books are published by Kodansha, so production began on a 20-episode Ghost Stories anime, utilizing a lot of the same staff as GTO.
Which, by the way, their official account blocked me the other day, because, yeah, they've been doing some weird stuff on X.
In Japan, the show had virtually no merchandising too, which supports the theory that Ghost Stories was created to fill that time slot between GTO and One Piece without fear of a ratings drop. But despite being so popular, the show was never meant to stay around, and once it completed, all parties involved simply moved on. ADV said they were never charged a licensing fee, but this could be another way of saying that the title was thrown in as part of a bulk purchase, where if a licensee buys a certain amount of shows, they may receive a show for free. This was very popular back in the day, and since Ghost Stories was just a show meant to fill a time slot, it makes sense that the contract would only have the basic requirements. The idea that the Japanese owners told ADV to do anything in order to sell the show is absurd. Not just because we know it was created as a filler show, but because even to this day, Japanese companies are notorious for not caring about the Western market. In short, Ghost Stories was created to fill an empty time slot until the end of an anime season, and despite popularity, the studio didn't care about it after it was done. It was licensed by ADV, and here's where my speculation starts. It had a loose contract which Griffin Vance, who was not just a lawyer but also a producer and occasional background voice, brought it to Foster so he could do what he always loved doing. In conclusion, I think the Ghost Stories dub did more harm than good. It permanently gave everyone a negative opinion of a decent horror anime, and its popularity on YouTube justified Stephen Foster in his agenda to change anime scripts for fun. That's all I can call it too, is changing anime scripts for fun. He's not.
Yeah, that's the big thing about it, is if you look at the fact that the only reason why it gets praised by content creators is because, yeah, it was reaction content. Back at the times, it was basically when YouTube was spiking, you had a lot of content creators that were looking for easy slop reaction to make, and this was one of those. They find compilations of the anime, they shove it up, they throw a bunch of edgy jokes, and they go, hoo hoo hoo, this is funny, and then they just re-upload it, and that's how they do it. That was what a lot of content creators did back in the days. They just did reaction And I mean, they still do it now. I see a lot of VTubers that do like the Australian spider videos and shorts and stuff, and that's all they ever react to. It's just like, as soon as a VTuber starts their career, as soon as they debut, they just go through reaction slop. Ghost Stories went through that same cycle. Every content creator wanted... It was like Boku no Pico, right? Every content creator had to cover Boku no Pico back in the old days because that was the popular thing for content creators to do. So that's what they did. They covered Ghost Stories. And so it gave the false perception that Ghost Stories was popular in the West when it never was. It was just popular from a content creator standpoint because it was presented in a palatable way to be reactionary and cheap content to mass produce. I've seen this video. Yeah. So that's why I think, you know, you've got all these Anitubers that defend Ghost Stories because they see all those videos and go, well, see, it was popular because people loved it. And they're like, no, people just liked it for the reactionary component of what it was. That the anime was not really what they were watching. They were watching the YouTube compilation. They didn't care about the anime. They cared about the YouTube compilation, which is just another cut out version of it. Ghost Story is the original clip farmers. Yeah, and that's what they went for. That's what their content creators went for. So you've got every hack of an Anituber that defends it because they're not going to be genuine in the argument they're making. They're trying to build this fake... They're trying to build this straw man argument that, well, actually heaps of people liked it because of these reaction channels. And it's like, again, it's the YouTube compilations. It's not the anime that they actually care about. They're not going to sit there and make reaction content on it. And maybe they might now because it's such a meme, but that's the thing. They're not doing it because they generally like it. People aren't going out of their way to watch the story because they're interested in the story. They're watching it because they want to see those memeable, clippable moments. That's it. It's being consumed for the completely wrong reasons, which is why a lot of people get irritated at it because they want an authentic original version. And of course, you get every Anituber that wants to defend this kind of hack shit because they want to use this as a vehicle to justify vandalism when it comes to dubs. That's why I don't like these Anitubers, because they're not genuine anime fans, they're just activists that just want to push their dumb, stupid opinion of why vandalizing anime products and intellectual property is a good idea, because screwing over everyone else's enjoyment is fun because they don't even like the shows themselves. Because if they did, they would have said, oh, I watched it and I liked the dub, but they didn't. They never watched it themselves.
Not working for 4Kids where he needs to edit these for TV. He's literally...
As the Hellsing fans, it's painful how 99% of Western fans knew the anime from the abridged version. Yeah, that's the only reason why I know about Hellsings is because of the abridged dub. That's it. And that's one of the problems about a lot of older animes, is a lot of people only know about some of them because of the abridges and stuff like this. When there are a lot of really good classics. Like, generally, there are some really good classics. It's just a lot of Western fans are just hacks. If Ghost Stories should ever receive a newer English dub in the future, it would need to be faithful to the Japanese original. I would prefer to see a proper original dub done than it ever get a remake. Because it just, yeah, it's... I feel like a lot of animes don't need remakes, they just need to be republished. That's it. And some of them just need dubs, like proper good dubs.
Literally just taking anime and living out his failed dream of being a screenwriter. He doesn't even seem to like anime, he just likes the ones that he writes. And he'll constantly talk about how Ghost Stories is called the best dub ever, or the most controversial.
And it's not, though. Again, it's only propped up because of reaction channels. And that's the same thing the Anitubers do, because they're disingenuous hacks. They will never actually be honest and transparent about the only reason why Ghost Stories is popular is because it's reaction slop. Not because people care about the anime, but because it's easy, clippable moments. It's like how a lot of people just watch animes for YouTube shorts or stuff like that.
Controversial dub. It's crazy that just clips of it on YouTube getting popular were enough to give him an ego, but I know that most people who...
See, this guy's on the same track record. And this isn't a pre-watch. I've been sitting on this video for ages. But it's very obvious. It's extremely obvious that that's the reason why people propped it up. Because all reaction channels did slop on it. So it must have been good. It's like, no one gave a shit about the anime because no one knew about the anime until the YouTube clipped moments got put out.
Who watch those clips haven't seen the show because they don't really care about the show. They just think it's a funny story.
I swear to God, I have not pre-watched this. But it's, yeah, anyone with half a brain cell understands this. How long is this video again? It only goes for 16 minutes.
But the story behind it is what's false. And years before the Ghost Stories dub, there were similar rumors about the show Samurai Pizza Cats. People used to say the original show was a serious drama, and that it was adapted without any scripts, and that the voice actors recorded their lines drunk. These rumors led to everyone who knew about the show touting it as the funniest thing imaginable. But in actuality, it was a run-of-the-mill children's dub full of puns, fourth wall breaking jokes, and cheesy one-liners you'd hear in any 90s kids show. In the mid-2000s, Funimation had shows like Sergeant Frog and Shin-Chan, which also overhauled their dub scripts. But these were made with the honest intention of making the show more entertaining for their target audience, while Foster's dubs are made to entertain Stephen Foster. While making this video, I constantly asked myself, if the show hadn't gotten a gag dub, would it have garnered anything of merit, or would it have been forgotten like so many other anime?
I think if it got a proper dub, it would have been an occult classic, right? It would have been remembered for what it was and always talked about in a much more higher regard rather than just being memed on, right? And I think that's the sad part, is that it would have been remembered as a much more, like a proper classic of its time.
From that time. Is it better that it's remembered for being bad as opposed to not being remembered at all? The situation isn't black and white, so
I think it wouldn't be as remembered, but when it is remembered, again, it would be remembered for that exact reason of being an occult classic. And I think more people would watch it because that it's a classic, but a lot of people don't watch it now. They just know about it because it's memeable. So I feel like if it was done properly, the consumption would be done correctly. People would watch it because they actually want to watch it, but a lot of people don't watch it. They just go to YouTube, find all the clip reels and go, ha ha ha, look at this show, it's silly. And they don't actually watch the anime. They don't have any actual genuine interest in the ghost stories themselves, which would have been cool because I love Goosebumps, right? I used to read all the books when I was a kid. So it's just kind of sad to see that kind of thing. And I don't really want to see a remake of it because I know they'll just do a hack job as well with that because they'll justify this dub as a reason to make another hacked version. I just would rather they just redo the dub properly.
I think it's best that you just take the information you have and make your...
Isn't Ghost Stories still an occult classic for the wrong reason? It's not an occult classic. It's more just a memeable moment that people refer to it as a clutch of a, this is why vandalizing dubs is good because, oh, people remember Ghost Stories. And it's like, people just make reaction slop out of it. It's not really an occult classic. People just only care about the dub and not about the story. That's it. And what I mean by the dub, they just care about those compilation videos. They don't watch the anime. So if they did a proper dub, people would probably go watch the actual anime and actually talk about the anime and the actual story. But instead, people don't talk about the anime, they talk about the dub, if you get what I mean. Like, no one talks about Ghost Stories because they're interested in the stories and what it has to tell, except for this video because it's delving into the deeper component. They're talking about the dub. That's it, because the dub is just memeable. They don't care about the story. That's the wrong reason to watch an anime like this. You should want to watch it because it's a story that's interesting. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Chaos Smash 64. I tried to like the comedy of Ghost Stories, but it came off as try-hard douchebaggy, and I like edgy humor. I love edgy humor. I love edgy humor, but this doesn't feel like, it feels too it feels like an edgelord kind of thing, right? I agree with you. It's like hard douchebag, edgy humor. To me, it's like edgelord, right? And that's what that's what I've seen the compilations, and that's what it is. It's just edgelord humor, right? And I don't mind my odd edgelord humor, but I think this would have been better if this was a fan dub, not an official dub. A proper dub that gave the proper respect to it, and I think people would actually watch the anime for what the anime had to tell, rather than just going to the YouTube compilation. Because again, I'm trying to re-emphasize a real heavy point. That's why I keep repeating myself. No one's watching the anime because of the anime itself. They're watching the YouTube compilations for the dub, so they don't care about the anime. They don't care about the story. They don't care about the characters. They don't care about the history or the folklores or any of that kind of stuff. They just go, oh, let's go to YouTube and let's look at the compilation of the dub because, ha ha ha, they said racist jokes. And I don't mind my racist jokes, but they're not watching the anime. If it was dubbed properly, sure, it wouldn't get all these compilations and it probably wouldn't be as remembered, but when it is remembered, people would watch it for the right reasons. So it would be consumed. So it's like, sure, it won't be as popular, but when it is talked about, people will go watch it for the right reasons. And I think that's more important than some edgy, dumb joke that a bunch of anti-tubers run to as a clutch moment. That's just, yeah, my personal rant on that.
Your own conclusion. The goal of this video...
Ghost Stories is kind of popular in Indonesia with the normal Indo... See, that's the thing. It's popular in the areas where it's dubbed correctly. So it proves that it probably would be popular here in the West, in the English market, if it was dubbed properly. Because it's Goosebumps stories style. And Goosebumps was very popular, by the way, during my time as a kid. Goosebumps was very popular. So I think this would have done very well. I think it would have been remembered very fondly. But because they did a hack job, no one really cares.
Isn't to make you hate the Ghost Stories dub. It's to give you more accurate information so as a viewer you can make a more...
I don't hate the Ghost because, again, I'm indifferent. I don't really care about it. But it's just disappointing. And the thing that I dislike is more the anti-tubers using the dub as a cheesy comeback line of being like, prop it up as, see, people liked it because it was popular. It wasn't popular. The anime was never popular for the dub. The anime is not even popular. The YouTube compilation is what's popular. Completely different usage.
Informed decision on how you feel. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go work on my Toei Fushigi comedy video. Thanks for watching. Fuck the Mets.
But yeah, that's just why. That's why I get really very frustrated at it, because I hate the fact that a lot of people prop Ghost Stories up on the left as some sort of gotcha moment for a lot of these content creators being like, see, people actually like it. And it's just like, no, people just like the compilation of it. Oh my god. Should I read this out on stream? People were talking about the Brandon drama, and I just quickly checked my Twitter, and I actually got a reply from one of the people desperately knee-jerk defending. And you know what? We'll read it. So, the whole Brandon dub's been going on, and one of the people defending Brandon has been Cloudy. If you don't know who they are, they're basically just an account that kind of like latches onto people. They really just care about trying to prop themselves up. And I basically criticized them about how they were complaining about the whole Brandon situation, because they were complaining about like the whole, sending, wishing harm on people, like game ending and all that, is just horrible. If you want to know who Brandon is, that's Brandon. Right. And I basically criticized them because they basically apply a double standard. They're basically saying, hey, I don't like it when people wish harm on others, but by the way, I don't really care that my friends do it to you. So I criticized them, and I said I wish they upheld that standard. So I'm going to read this monster of a tweet and break it down. I didn't really want to delve back into this drama because I just went on a vacation, but I can't ignore this. I'm sorry, but at least to me, I wouldn't use the word friend so loosely. I only talk to you or Chibi maybe once or twice a month, maybe a few. By the way, I never referred to you as a friend. I literally said, I wish you applied these standards to your own friends that you follow when they wish death on me and Chibi. You didn't even read the... He didn't even read what I said from the start. This is nothing against the two of you, though. That being said, I mostly ignore harassment that I see on my... Well, this again, you just proved my point. That being said, I mostly ignore harassment that I see on the timeline because me bringing attention to it wouldn't really do that much. Well, you've spent the last 2 days deriding for Brandon. So clearly that's just false. If I had to openly defend all the people that I follow on Twitter, that's not... Again, this is the thing. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. That would essentially be my account would be... By the way, I'm going to expose them after this. That I follow on Twitter. That would essentially be all my accounts would be about how much there is out there. Sorry, but I'm not like you who thrives off... Oh, the irony of this, by the way. Thrives off drama. And so I generally only go out of my way to defend those that I really care about. That's why you suck up to me in my DMs so goddamn much, Cloudy. You literally snivel into my DMs going, oh, look, you've grown your account. How did you get monetization? How did you grow so quickly? Can you teach me? This again proves exactly what I've been saying. You are friends, by the way, with a group of people that have a chat group that want me and Chibi gone. And I'm using that word lightly there, that want me and Chibi gone. You are friends with those people. Are you going to talk about the drama, Chibi drama? I'm talking about it right now. Because this has to do with Chibi as well. Right? You are friends with those very same people. You only follow me and only snivel up to me because you want to get some cheap clout. And that's why you're so butthurt because you apparently lost 200 followers. Because you are. You're a vulture. I would never have gotten involved in this drama in the first place if Brandon wasn't jumped by a large portion of Lolicon community, a community that is supposed to be his ally. By the way, you've openly admitted that you are not a Lolly fan and that you don't even play Blue Archive, and yet you are defending him. So you're not even involved in this drama in general, but you're deriding him anyway. Cloudy is... He's a hypocrite. He's a vulture. He is a absolute leech and a snake. And wonder why. Because he's friends with Brandon's friends who hate us. And he's trying to play this whole, oh, well, you know, I don't like getting involved in drama. But by the way, he gets involved in drama all the time. I wouldn't say he's a bad person. He's just a snake. He's just a snake. It disgusted me that Lolicons were hating on Brandon. By the way, they weren't hating on him. They were being critical of him because of his double standards and his virtual signaling. When combating antis, betrayals aren't exactly nice, and as such, I felt the need to defend him. No, you're friends with his friends who hate us. You are part of a chat group that hates me and Chibi. Shut the... And it disgusts me even further to see the response that was getting for the tweet that I made. People were defending this behavior. People weren't defending the behavior. You're just being disingenuous. People are just tired of being called the P word, which is ironic, being that you like a series that has been called the P word, but I guess that's okay now. Oh, this generally just annoys me because he's such a sniveling little coward. Because it was done for the sake of the community and gatekeeping. Sorry to be the moral, but I think caring about people is more important than your addiction to lollies. What straw man is this? What straw man is this? Get off the internet. Lolicons supposedly care more about real people, instead what happens in fiction. Yes, you care so much about people. That's why you're perfectly fine with his friends and your friends wishing harm on us. But now suddenly it's a big deal because people were critical of Brandon. Oh my god, this is, by the way, this is exactly, he just proved my entire tweet's point. You just proved my whole tweet point. Thank you. You apply a double standard. You going behind my back to post is whatever hurtful because I thought we were cool with one another. I love the way you're trying to paint yourself as a victim yet again, because again, you're doing the same thing as Brandon. How dare you hold me accountable for this? Oh my god. This is again a victim complex by him. The same shit that his friends do, the same shit that he does. He self-inserts himself into drama, and then he plays a victim complex the moment that he gets a drop of pushback. Again, these kids love to play themselves as drama-free, but they're always in drama. I know I just said I didn't really consider you a friend, but I kind of respected you. So because I disagreed with you and said I wish you upheld the same standards, you're now saying I attacked you. I just want to point something out, by the way. Read my tweet. I wish you applied these standards to your own friends that you follow when they wish harm on me and others like Chibi, or even lie about us. But you don't. You just turn the other way and play dumb. I've never asked you to call them out because it's not you that says these things. But when you do shit like this, it shows how fake you are. He is now trying to play this as he has been attacked for being criticized. Again, anyone in chat, if you believe this is a personal attack on him, tell me. Tell me, if this is a personal attack, explain to me how this is a personal attack. Because now he's trying to paint himself as this poor little victim in all of this. Explain to me how that is a personal attack. And the whole you're going behind my back, you saw the tweet. I replied to one of your tweets and you ignored it. But not only did you not tag me in this tweet, but possibly making it such that I don't see the tweet. Bro, you follow me. It's not like I blocked you. You could have just talked to me about all this DM stuff like an adult, except for the fact you just literally said yourself you don't give a shit. You contradict yourself. Oh, we're not friends, but by the way, I saw you as I had respect and seen as friend. This is your problem. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. I could have explained everything to you, but I guess you just need your drama post like usual. The irony in you fixating on drama while crying about drama. The part that confuses me is if this guy is in a group chat you get, and you and Chibi, why is he acting like your friends are close? Because he constantly DMs me asking me about how he grows his account. Because mostly all he cares about is growing his account. That's all he cares about. And he's not exactly really trying to hide it. So I just find this irony. I could have explained everything. You're even still following me, which makes this feel worse. Oh my god. You are one of the most childish children on the platform. Oh, you said something critical of me? How dare you follow me? You should block me. And then he cries about being blocked. With all this being said, if you feel like I should be more proactive in speaking up against harassment, people like you and Chibi despise the talking points I've made, then let me know. Or maybe, I just love the way you literally ignored everything I said in the first tweet. You ignored everything and then tried to spin a fucking story to try and paint yourself as a victim in this. I mean, this is so pathetic. All I said was very basic. And by the way, he saw this yesterday. He took a whole day to reply to it. All I said was I wish you upheld the same standards that you were sitting here grandstanding about, virtual singling about. I wish you upheld those same standards here that you did with your own friends who attack me and Chibi all the time. But you don't. But then you're trying to say that you have respect for me, but you're perfectly fine ignoring what I said. Oh my god. Oh my god. You are such a hypocrite. Anyways, I'm going to do some waterfalls tomorrow. I hope you and whoever else is reading this have a... Oh my god. Oh my god. anyone in chat wants to actually like push back on this and tell me where I've maybe misread this, but I've just never seen someone read a tweet and then still fail to get the basics. This is so high school drama. It is. It's so high school drama. All because we criticize Brandon for how he's behaved recently. Cloudy has gone on this massive like PR speak for Brandon going, I'm defending his honor. While, by the way, in all of his tweets, he has deliberately strawmanned, lied, and tried to gaslight people. You didn't, he's a snake. I mean, again, if people think I'm in the wrong, point it out. But he's not said a single thing, anything critical of what I said. He's literally talked past everything I've said. Not a single point he has made has anything to do with what I said. I never said we were friends. I don't see him as a friend. Because all he ever does is sucks up into my DMs and tries to fucking get clout out of me. Which is why he goes the whole, I had respect for you. Bro, you never liked me anyway. Your whole friends group dislikes me. So why do you pretend to like me? And you'd say, why do I still follow him? Because I thought way back when I originally followed him that he was like an okay person. But that was back when I was much smaller. I had like less than 14k followers. So back then I was just, you know, befriending anyone. But then I found out that he was part of a whole friends group that, by the way, actively hated me. I'm just... Oh, and he replied to another. Honestly, I don't even know who you're talking about. You're referring to Brandon. I mean, I like the guy. I wouldn't say he's my friend. There isn't really any more that comes to mind that would fit the context. I love the way he's pretending. He's pretending that he doesn't know that I know. Bro, I know who you're friends with. I know about all the people. By the way, that's one of Brandon's friends who constantly attacks Chibi. These individuals hate my guts. By the way, this is Sly Performer's new account, who, by the way, has a chat group where he whinges about all of us. And he tells people to block me. He goes around begging people in private chat groups to block me. He got his main account suspended. Don't know why, but I think he bought that account anyway. And then he's got an alt account as well. So again, yes, I know who you're friends with. So you wonder why I know what chat groups you're part of. Is it not really a friend? Why defend him? Because he's trying to snip. Because he is friends with them. He's literally on good terms with all of Brandon's friends, who, by the way, all hate me and Chibi. That's why. He's trying to play the whole, I'm actually not friends with them, but actually I am friends with them. And this is just like the most out of touch tweet I have ever seen. Like, nothing about it has anything to do with the point being made. To start with, I never said we were friends. I've never said we were friends. Vic, who voiced, thank you again for the $5 super chat, Chaos. Vic, who voiced Ghost Stories, felt uncomfortable about the script that he requested he be credited under his stage name. Check it out, it's funny. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Vic Mignogna is a Christian, so he probably didn't feel particularly comfortable with all the racist jokes. But, yeah. That I might actually look at that afterwards. I don't know why this is a thing. Here's the thing. The whole drama started because Brandon was basically calling out an account that was basically using that meme of like game ending yourself of an individual that was attacking. I mean, it was just like one of those attacking like the trans community, and Brandon called it out. But people looked into that person's account who was actively called for violence on other people. And so people started calling Brandon out, being like, hey, you know, you're perfectly fine when people do this, but you're getting all defensive about this. And it was the fact that Brandon was trying to do the whole policing and the whole, well, I'm going to virtual signal and I'm going to police what people can and can't say and all this other kind of stuff. And the lolly community just really got irritated at the grandstanding, and they felt like he was, one, trying to talk down to them, that he was being a bit hypocritical. It was a multitude of different things, but they also just didn't want to be lectured at him about how they respond to people that attack their community, because the lolly community is very protective, right? They're very defensive, they're very protective, and so they didn't really want to be lectured by someone like him. Naturally, he then also got called up by Chibi. Chibi called him out and said, hey, you know, you've actively attacked me. You've got people actively in your community wishing harm on me. So, you know, you're going to virtual signal about this thing, but you're okay with this other thing. And so people called that up. He's also actively defended censorship. So people are starting to pull up a lot of the things that Brandon has said, and they're kind of calling him out saying, hey, you know, you're not exactly got a squeaky clean personality here. Stop painting yourself as this moral superiority type person. So a lot of people were calling him out for that. Naturally, Brandon's apology tweet was one of the most egotistic replies ever. It wasn't even an apology. It was basically a, I'm sorry that you're disappointed in me, but I'm actually disappointed in you because I think I'm better than you. That's basically his whole apology. It was so out of touch. And people just spat it. They just like, you know what, we're done with your shit, right? The problem that I have with Brandon is that he constantly virtual signals about toxicity within his community and, oh, I don't condone this and I don't condone that, but he is actively friends with people that constantly try to throw snarky remarks and hate comments at me and Chibi and others. And so I get a little bit annoyed at how Brandon tries to keep policing what we and me and others can say and do. And again, I mentioned at the start of the stream how Brandon told me that I wasn't allowed to quote retweet him even if I was like civilly disagreeing with him in any way, because disagreeing with him in a quote retweet is antagonistic, and that he doesn't like basically when people quote retweet him not agreeing with him. But he is more than capable of quote retweeting people disagreeing with them. So Brandon likes to apply rules to people, but then doesn't like to apply the rules to himself. This is where people are starting to get really irritated at Brandon trying to police how people speak, how people think, how people behave, but then tries to paint himself as, oh, I'm not doing that. People are getting tired of the grandstanding, the control nature of it. It's kind of annoying how much the Blue Archive accounts just talk about politics, but if he's only doing it for one side, he's just going to get burnt by everyone. The problem is that, and this is what people are calling Brandon out for, and this is the part he keeps ignoring, he's trying to fence it. He's trying to be a centralist, but he's clearly only defending one side. And that's where people are criticizing him for. And this is where Cloudy comes involved, because Cloudy has been doing nothing but defense for Brandon the entire time. He's just been doing nothing but defense, to the point where Cloudy has actively gaslighted and lied about what we've all said. And I mean, it's right there. Again, read what I said, read what his tweet is here, and then read this, and it doesn't even address a single point that I said. He just gaslights. Oh, I don't see you as a friend. I never said you were a friend. That's the problem. So basically, he just wants his cake and eat it too. Yes, and that's what I called him out for. That he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. Cloudy is doing this because Cloudy was hoping that he could get some cheap clout from Brandon because he's friends with Brandon in his community. But the funny thing is that Cloudy doesn't even play Blue Archive. I don't either. But I have a bigger issue with Brandon and his behavior, because Brandon attacked Chibi only months ago, saying that he wanted to distance himself from Chibi because apparently people associate with him, but yet continuously takes jabs at Chibi. So he doesn't want to be referred to as associated with Chibi, which, by the way, no one does. No one refers to him as associated with Chibi. Brandon's just making that part up in his head. That is just a made-up fictional little story of Brandon's. Oh, people refer to me as Chibi or link me up. No. Brandon's just trying to control what people say. Brandon's just a control freak. Thank you, Candy, for the super chat. Fun fact, the Filipino community hates Cloudy. I'd love to know why, just out of curiosity. I generally didn't really notice much about it because I don't really pay attention to him. But again, he tries to talk to me in the DMs from time to time. Whenever I have a big spike in growth, he'll DM me and go, oh my god, you grew. That's all he cares about, is my following size. But I think he's kind of realized I'm not going to give him any clout, so he kind of just fobs me off. What are you talking about? Chibi made Brandon. I'm not quite sure what you mean there, Vish. Brandon made a tweet a long time ago basically saying that he distanced himself from Chibi because apparently people were claiming in his community that Brandon is associated with Chibi. But the thing is that no one sees Chibi and Brandon as the same person. No one ever looks at Brandon and goes, oh, he's just like Chibi. No. I'm more like Chibi than Brandon is. And I'm nothing alike Chibi. People just think apparently I'm his older brother, which I'm not Chibi's older brother. But I'll read the super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Who knew Wholesome Chungus streamer was actually a fragile virtual signaler replying on environmentals built people with more integrity with him. The funny thing is about him is that he constantly inserts himself into drama and then complains about drama. Cloudy does the same thing. Cloudy inserts himself into drama and then talks about how all of us are just drama. Again, if I see something, I call it out. If I like something, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I call it out. I wouldn't say I exclusively just talk about drama, right? I talk about a lot of different things. I talk about things that I like. I talk about things that I don't like. Yeah. It just, a lot of people only focus on the drama. You do look similar to Chibi. When I don't get a haircut, I look similar to Chibi. When I get a haircut, I look a little bit better. But a lot of people will only fixate, are you taller than Chibi? Oh, absolutely, I'm taller than Chibi. Chibi's a shorty. But a lot of people only focus on the drama stuff that I cover because that's what people do. They only focus on the negative. I talk about a lot of positive stuff, right? I talk about a lot of positive stuff. I have a whole channel where I talk about different stuff more positively. I want to do a review on the new romance anime, and I want to talk about how much I like that. So that's just some of the other stuff that I want to talk about. How tall is Chibi? I have no idea. So I talk about a lot of stuff positively. I keep the politics out of this channel deliberately. But you've got to remember, people like Cloudy don't consume my content. So the only thing he sees is, I don't even know how tall I am. But the only thing these people, like Cloudy, see is the drama stuff because that's all he cares about focusing on. So he's being disingenuous, right? If you watch enough of my content, you know I don't just focus on drama. So, yeah. But I'm just tired of all these snakes. I'm probably going to end up replying to him, but I'm just going to block him. Because he clearly wants me to block him. I'm just going to reply to him and block him. Because he's such a vulture. I'm so sick of his shit. So this is why I block people. I just don't want to interact with these people. And the thing is, he goes, oh, well, you did that. And I'm like, bro, your tweet is literally right here. And by the way, I replied to you. You never replied back. Yeah, I liked my own tweet. Sue me. I was irritated at the time. I don't normally like my own tweet, but I got irritated and I was like, ugh. But, yeah. It's also so I can track it as well. It's generally why I like it, because I generally use it as a tracker. But I was just irritated, because I wanted to find it, so I could see if he actually replied. Because he never replied to that, which I replied to his. So he ignored my comment on his, but then found this tweet and made a victim out of himself. Because again, this is what he does. He makes a victim complex out of himself. So... I'll probably reply to this off stream. Because, yeah. But that's kind of the short version of the drama between Brandon and the community. I think a lot of the Lolicon community is just not happy with Brandon because, again, they feel like they've been talked down to. We could say that the world being what it is, some are getting into politics to stop people from politicizing everything, so we don't blame you. And that's all it is. I just want politics out of my anime, right? That's it. That's always been my stance. If people stop politicizing my anime, I don't have anything to talk about, so I go back to just covering only more positive stuff. But I try to balance the positive and the negative, right? I try to do that. That's why I keep the politics out of my second channel. Is that Guru anime worth watching? Yes, I'm going to do probably a video on it tonight or tomorrow. I would like to do one tonight, but this just feels like this is going to... But I just find this whole like little spin by Cloudy here so fucking funny. It is talking down to who does he think he's... I don't know. I generally don't know. It's just frustrating because these people... This whole comic here is just so disingenuous. And he talks about how he doesn't like drama. His entire account is just him replying to drama. And that's the thing. The people that whine about drama the most generally are the ones in the drama the most. So it's more of a virtual signal. So, yeah. Oh, I don't enjoy this kind of drama because it's so annoying and it's high school drama. I agree with chat. It's high school drama. It's so petty. It's so childish. And this kid is just clearly, I mean, he's apparently a university student, so that answers a lot. But it's just one of those where it's just like, bro, why are you being so disingenuous with your tweet? Why? I ain't reading that. Don't worry, I already read it and it was painful enough to read. It's so much straw manning in it. So much straw manning. Like the whole thing here. I'm sorry, but at least to me, I wouldn't use the word friend so loosely. I never said you were a friend. Which again, if you read the part here, I wish you applied these standards to your own friends that you follow when they wish harm on me and Chibi. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about his actual friends that he does follow. So he deliberately did not read or understand a single thing that I said. Thank you again, Candy, for the super chat. These people never grew out of high school. No, they didn't. And I hate having to get into this kind of petty stuff, but it needs to be called out. Because if it doesn't get called out, these kids just get worse and worse and worse. And these kids grow these accounts, and then they weaponize their audience, and they try and destroy other accounts. Because that's what he does. He'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he'll try and use his audience to go after people. They are young. They haven't bore any responsibility to know the weight of their actions. They sit on... Well, I mean, I sit on social media a lot, but I don't think they really have any friends outside of social media, which is why I think they have an unhealthy balance. I just think it's just childish. It's just childish. It's like people saying, why are you getting so serious defending the fan service in anime? It's, yeah, well, we get on your level of serious to stop your stupidness. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people say, you know, well, we should censor fan service. And it's like, no, we shouldn't. Like, why are you so serious about fan service? Well, because you want to actively try and censor it. And I need to defend that because otherwise you bet. And that's the thing. That's the same arguments with these kinds of things. They lack the frontal lobe. Yeah. This is like the worst, best drama to cover for them, but no drama account wants to cover this. Yeah, no. I mean, no drama account really wants to go over this stuff. The only reason why I read it was because I was finished that video and I was like, oh, I'll check what the notifications are. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God. So I was like, you know what? Let's read it live. Let's see if anyone actually has any disagreements with me, because what I said here is not a single thing that he addressed. He did not address it at all. There's not a single thing that he addressed. I'm generally just perplexed by how all of this yapping, and he didn't even read a single thing that I said. And instead, he just talks past it. So, And it all started over bloody Brandon's tweet. Which we could go over his tweet, but... I mean, his tweet here is more addressing, please never come on. I know these VTubers, Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. But Brandon's post here is like, this post is aimed towards anyone in my community. I know a lot of people hate me currently. Again, I love the people hate me. I would say more people are just critical and disappointed, because most people I've read comments of, they just say he's disappointed in him. Sure, people are going to hate him. And I mean, if that presses him so much, okay, then why do your friends hate us so much? I just find that ironic, and I think it's a bit of projection. I think he knows his friends hate us, so he gets really, really paranoid about people hating him. Can we have a brain cleanser? I might do that after I've read this. This is not meant to, before we end the stream. Before anyone minds if you think I'm a scumbag, go ahead. So, it's solely for those who care, and that's all. First, me and Chibi talked in DMs. By the way, he only talked to Chibi because apparently someone else pushed him to do it. He wasn't going to. I apologized to him for shit-talking him in public, which is ironic because he finally admits that he was shit-talking, which his own community was trying to say he never did, but he admits it. And that's also after the fact that he said he wouldn't talk about Chibi again, which he still talks about Chibi, and then his friends still talked about him even after this tweet. So, that's the irony in that. We sorted out the real... we sorted out our real opinions. Trust me, if you knew what I knew, you'd know this is not quite the case. No, obviously, I was not saying he's a criminal, nor do I think he's be one in the future. You kind of insinuated it, though. I was specifically talking about optics. Yeah, optics. And what images he's choosing to associate with. I'm not calling them that, I'm just insinuating that he is. And how that would certainly cause even more people to go after him. Again, you really care about what everyone else says about themselves. It's like, why do you care? You said you don't want to be associated with him, so then why talk about him so much? But I'll refrain from talking about him anymore on Twitter in the future, unless, of course, I absolutely have to. Trust me, you will talk about him again. Because guess what? Your friends don't stop talking about him. For the initial post, this started the entire... I do not apologize for that. Most people don't know this, but the same people who have gone after Chibi have also gone after me on multiple occasions, which is true. Chibi did tell me about that. They consistently use soy jack images and cartridges to get in hang, which is why you should have some sympathy for Chibi, but you don't. You don't have any sympathy for Chibi. You just dogpile and attack him, and then Cloudy goes in defense mode. Just the irony of that. You have no sympathy for Chibi. Your friends dogpile on him, but then you want to also go, oh, but I received the same kind of hate comments. We'd have sympathy for you, but you don't have any for us. Along with the threats and vile language, so to see someone on my side use the exact same imagery, I got angry. I was under the impression that while fighting back against antis was good, we had lines we didn't cross. The irony of you saying this, having people in your own community actively do exactly what you're complaining about towards Chibi, is a double standard in itself. You are more than capable of playing a blind eye when your community does it to Chibi and others, but when it's done to a specific group that you don't want it to, you know, on the left, that you don't want to look bad for, that's when you have a problem. The problem is people don't like the double standards. And also they just don't want to be talked down to by you because you don't speak for the entire community. But you, even though you're saying it's for your own community, you're talking as if you speak for the Blue Archive community, which you don't. That's how it comes off. That while gatekeeping is necessary, threats or something interpreted by were over the line. Yeah, sure. Telling people to go game in themselves is not pleasant. But you're more than capable of ignoring it when other people do it to us. But when it was done to someone else, that was when you suddenly decided to care. I may have overreacted at the time, but after seeing someone post about how we should send children gore, worry about the evictions this community is heading, which by the way, they literally, in your own community, talk about doing that to Chibi. If you disagree with this, that's fine. I don't plan on commenting on or policing people in the future. You've tried to police a lot of us, including me, on what we can and can't say. So you saying that you're not going to do that in the future, I find that hard to believe. It's not my job. I only posted that because I felt I was personally responsible for sending them there. Again, this whole idea that he needs to be responsible for everyone. But yet he cherry picks when he doesn't want to be responsible. even if the person they were replying to may have if your trust in damage if your trust is damaged in me, it goes both ways. This is the condescending part, by the way, that I think really does a lot of damage, because this is the part where he really got called out for. I'm severely disappointed at how this situation unfolded, because it did not need to be made public spectacle at all. The irony of him saying that when he has made multiple public spectacles of other content creators, being Chibi, multiple times, and his friends doing it, that shows a double standard. Regardless, I'm going to take a break from Twitter, and I am contemplating just leaving it. But the thing is, he was apparently going to deactivate his account. I think he should. I think he should just deactivate his account. Because he's just generally... You need a lot more than self-reflection. Not just because of the haters, but for my own mental health too, blah, 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 blah. I don't care at that point. I don't like the condescending nature. I don't like the hypocrisy. It's just double standards. The narcissist... Again, you can read it for yourself and you can see how he talks. So if you don't agree with how I've interpreted it, tell me. I'm more than happy for people to push back on. Because... I just don't like... I don't like being talked down to by someone that has a community, who has a Discord server, who has friends, who actively attack me, Chibi, and others. Right? And then he sits there and tries to grandstand about, oh, don't behave like this because it reflects badly on me. And now he's trying to talk as if like he's the authority over what Chibi should and should not say. By the way, sure, Chibi says, to be honest, Chibi's biggest hot take is that he just likes anime boobies. That's it. That's his hot take. Really? He doesn't like censorship, and that's it. Do I think Chibi overshares? Yes, I do think he overshares his personal life a little bit too much. I wish he didn't overshare so much. I've said that to him multiple times. But again, he has every right to call people out that attack him. He has every right to call people out that go after him and his family. I think sometimes it would probably be better if he didn't give them so much attention, but he's in every right to go after them and call them out. But has Chibi committed some hate crime for defending himself? No. Now, as far as the one thing that most people criticize Chibi for, being the lawyer stuff, I do think Chibi was stupid how he dealt with the GoFundMe stuff. And I've explained in previous streams that are now deleted, and I'll repeat it here, what Chibi should have done. Chibi should have gone to a lawyer first, inquired about what it takes to sue said parties, and then did a GoFundMe if he intended to follow through with it. But because he went to someone like Legal Mindset, which is who I assume he went to, Legal Mindset said, oh yeah, you can sue them, and then Chibi went and did a GoFundMe, then went and looked for a lawyer. He should have never gone to Legal Mindset. He should have gone to an actual lawyer in his local area and approached them, and then, if it seemed like the right choice, then do a GoFundMe and then raise the funds to sue said parties. Chibi did everything in the wrong order. He should have gone lawyer first, then GoFundMe, if that was the right decision. But he went GoFundMe, then lawyers. And now he's in this predicament where he's struggling to find a lawyer that actually wants to sue or is willing to do that, because again, they have to do a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff to try and, like, again, I'm no lawyer expert, so don't take my legal advice, but based on my basic understandings, there's a lot of annoyances when it comes to that. Lawyers can do free consultations. Yeah. But Chibi should have gone to a lawyer first, then done a GoFundMe. But he did a GoFundMe first, and then he struggled to find a lawyer. So now he's got a bunch of money that he's done for a GoFundMe. And yeah. Are we talking about the grave thing? We're talking about a multitude of things, actually. The grave thing, the doxing, the bomb stuff, like all of that. But Chibi would have to pay a lawyer to sue them. He could get probably a free consultation in inquiring about it, but he didn't do that first. He did the GoFundMe because I think he spoke to Legal Mindset, and then he looked up how much it would have cost him, and then went, okay, now I'll go see a lawyer. He should have gone and seen the lawyer first and inquired about the process of going down that route. I think the problem is too many people got into Chibi's ear and told him, oh, yeah, you should absolutely do it. And I think a lot of his community kept telling him to sue. And so Chibi got the idea that he could sue them easily. And I think Chibi might have bit off more than he can chew. Now he's sitting on a bunch of money, and I think he just doesn't know what the hell to do with it. I would say the best thing he can do is hang on to that money and say to his community, I'm going to hang on to this. I'm going to keep it safe, keep it in a high interest account. And when I need to use it to sue these people, I will use it and I will keep you informed on it. That's what he should do. Right? That's what I think he should do. Because there's not much he can do. People say give the money back. There's no way for him to give the money back properly without it being an absolute mess. Chibi is a nice kid. He just... Sometimes he makes stupid goddamn mistakes. Right? He makes stupid mistakes. I'm sure Andrew wanted to help him with giving... I'm sure Andrew did want to help him. But I think Chibi got too far ahead of himself. I think his community probably got into his ear too much. I think Andrew probably maybe filled Chibi with too many grandeur ideas. Maybe Chibi misinterpreted it. I don't know. Again, I wasn't in that conversation, so I don't know. Why he can't find a lawyer isn't lawyer about money. Because a lawyer does still have to make sure that they don't mislead their clients. Because it's bad for their reputation. I think it's bad in general. Spiritual sounds like a daddy. That's why I think some people think that I'm his brother. Because I sound like a parent to him sometimes. But suing someone isn't just as easy as boom, boom, boom. Well, I have to go now. Have a nice day. See ya, Visha. Have a nice night. And thank you for dropping by. The problem is that suing someone for what they've done to him isn't straight copy-paste. Right? There's a lot of back end stuff. There's a lot of legal stuff. It's messy. It's slow. But also, it doesn't guarantee anything's going to be done about it, right? Because they didn't really do it. Like, there's a lot of you need to prove stuff. You need to go to X. You need to go through conversations. You need to go through backlogs. It's a very messy process, and it may not necessarily be something that Chibi can achieve as a slam dunk sue. So that's probably why the lawyers probably said, sure, you could try and sue them, but your chances of succeeding are probably quite low. You might be able to, but it's probably going to be messy and long. And it's not like Chibi will be able to talk about it either. Even if Chibi was suing them right now, he wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So it's not like it's an easy thing for Chibi to do. So a lot of people go after him about that. I just wish Chibi went to a lawyer first, then went and did a GoFundMe. Because I think things would have played out very differently. And I think he probably wouldn't have ended up doing the GoFundMe if a lawyer said, yeah, no, it's probably not the best option. But, again, I think Chibi just makes stupid mistakes, and that's really as far as it goes. But the other thing, though, too, is if people hate Chibi so much, then why talk about him so much, right? If you generally dislike Chibi so much, and you don't want him to succeed, and you're tired of him covering all the drama that he gets into, then why give him the time of the day? Why talk about him? Why obsess over him? And that's the problem. These people, I think, just have a lot of jealousy. So, you know, I'm kind of tempted. I want to open one. But I don't know what one to open. I don't know. Because then I'm going to put it in here temporarily. Ugh. I really want to open the Mina Tapish one though. So, I don't know. Oh, my back is killing me. So much yard work. A lawyer would have suggested that he get a lawyer he could afford in his budget. Yeah. Because legal stuff is very expensive. I've hired lawyers before, and they're not cheap. They're really not. And it can be quite slow, the processes. I was very lucky when I needed to get a lawyer for my stuff. It was quite quick. But that was because I did get quite good lawyers. They're like a local family business lawyer firm. And and I was on very good terms with them as well, and they generally were very nice to me, and they liked me because of who I was. So there are backlog of cases dating back to 1998 in my country. So, like, there are lawyers who would have worked with him with a budget he had. The problem is that he needs to find a lawyer, right? He needs to find a lawyer that will work within budget, that will be able to take on his case and all that other kind of stuff. And sometimes some lawyers just don't want to deal with something that messy. And sometimes lawyers just don't have a specialty in that area. Not every lawyer is suited for every situation, right? There are some lawyer firms that only deal with, say, like estates, like deceased estates, or they deal with divorces or other types of stuff. So you need to find a legal firm that deals with specific situations that you know that you can deal with. When I got my lawyers, the lawyers that I went with, they're known for doing wills, right? They do family estate wills. So when I went to them for my stuff, they were perfect because they specifically specialized in deceased estates. Because I had to get a lawyer for my mother's estate because she didn't have a will. When my mother passed away 2 years ago, she didn't have a will. So I had to, bloody bug, I had to get a lawyer because I didn't know what I was doing with all the paperwork. And all this paperwork there and all that kind of stuff, it was like, and all the paperwork is just government paperwork. And it says, if you don't fill this in out properly, you're going to get sued and we're going to put you in jail. And it's like, so I went to a lawyer and I got them to help me. And so they dealt with all the legal stuff. So what they did was they contacted the banks. They said, hey, this person is deceased. We're taking over the money and the assets because we represent this person who is the trustee or the trustee of the account. And so they deal with all the legal stuff, right? They make sure all the accounts are closed. They follow up any loose ends, all that kind of stuff. And so they make sure all the properties are dealt with, all the assets are dealt with. And then they also helped me deal with the super and the death insurance and all that kind of stuff. So it allowed me to have someone to make sure everything was filled in properly. That's what they specialized in. And so it was a quick process. But it was generally a stressful process because I've never dealt with that kind of stuff before. And I didn't have any family or friends to help me with it. I just had the lawyers. So I had to deal with that while I was still making content and all the other kind of stuff. And I also had specialist appointments for my health problems and everything because I just finished having surgery as well. So I had all that kind of stuff juggling around. That's why it's important to get lawyers that specialize in a certain area. Chibi might not be able to find a set of lawyers that might be willing to take on that case. Because again, some lawyers only deal in certain things. They only have certain specialties. I miss the times where I watched Chibi for anime news and reviews. Now it's just drama, censorship and shit. Doesn't mean that I hate him or anything. It's just sad that shit dumped on him at the time. I'll tell you what Chibi told me in the DMs. The drama stuff does a lot better, right? And I understand people say, oh, so he's doing it for the view. You also got to understand all the anime news and review stuff doesn't do well. I do it on the other channel. It doesn't do that very well. The news, the reviews, all that kind of stuff doesn't do well. Occasionally you'll get a banger off, but generally speaking, the views generally suck when it comes to reviews. So Chibi, and I mean, Chibi covered drama stuff while doing reviews as well. It wasn't like he was just only started doing drama out of thin air and he's never done that before. Chibi used to do a lot of drama stuff beforehand, right? So Chibi used to do animes, reviews, news, and drama stuff and all those kinds of topics. But Chibi realized that clearly the anime reviews and the news topics, and he still does some news and reviews, but just not as much. But he realized that a lot of that just wasn't doing as well. So he pivoted his focus more towards one aspect that does a lot better. So naturally, that's what he focuses on more. And that's just sadly how things work. And I understand it sucks, by the way. It generally sucks that, you know, content creators have got to pivot their content to fit the viewership. But it's like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. You at some point, you have to sit there and say, hey, if I keep making this content, it's going to kill my channel. So do I just make the content that people want and my channel stays alive? And at the end of the day, he's got bills to pay, right? And that's why it sucks. And that's why I always say people need to support the content that they genuinely love and enjoy. Because trust me, The algorithm probably doesn't appreciate the content as much as you do. You probably love those reviews and news videos, but the algorithm may not appreciate it as much, so they're not willing to promote it as much. And so that's why, in my opinion, it's extremely, extremely important to promote that kind of content. Because if you don't, it doesn't look good on our analytics, and then we start pivoting our content in a completely different direction. I'm pretty sure reviews generally don't do well with the algorithm at all. No, they don't. My light novel reviews generally don't do very well. My anime reviews generally don't do that well. The stuff that generally does well is generally drama stuff. And that's why a lot of stuff is political now. It gets a lot of views. Why do you think certain content creators only talk about Assam Piker? I get bored of listening about that bloody troll, right? He just trolls. Like, he provokes, he lies, he trolls, he gaslights. But people love talking about him. Why? Because he's good views. What is he going to do with the cash? It's kind of a waste if he just leaves. I don't know what he's doing with the cash. I hope he puts it in a high interest account. That's at least, if he's going to do something with it, do that. Minimal. Otherwise, leaving it in a bank account is kind of just pointless. I don't watch reviews unless I know the series. Yeah. But a lot of people will only watch reviews for shows they do watch, and a lot of anime reviews just don't do that well anymore. A lot of stuff is just reaction slop now. So, it is what it is. But I will be doing an anime review on the Guru one. That's why I do all the other stuff on the other channel. That's why I keep them separate, so that I can at least do different stuff on different channels, and if they don't do as well, it doesn't impact both content. I really want to unbox a figure, but I'm not ready to yet, but I really want to. It's why I prefer streamers like Monta Sensei. I like Monta Sensei. He's a good streamer. He's a good content creator. And I like his videos too. I don't really care about Guru. I do. I like it. It's a good anime. I was going to talk about the different animes that I was watching this season. I'll just pull up the good old Alliance music. Ugh. I need to unwind before I end stream, because if I unwind and I'm not unwind and I end stream, I'm just gonna get annoyed at that Cloudy kid. But I am gonna block him. Mark my words, I'm blocking his ass. I will screenshot his tweet. I will reply to it, and I'm just gonna block him. He can go talk into his own little echo chamber. I generally just don't give a shit about him. He's such a bloody vulture. Kids like that can go flog a log. I did watch the first episode of Slime. I need to catch up on Slime. I actually liked the first episode. I know table talking episodes, they actually did it good this time. I need to catch up on that. I haven't started watching that yet. I did watch the first episode. I need to catch up on that. I'm mostly up to date on Class on the Elite, and I really like Class on the Elite. Chat. I need your opinion on something. Alright? I need your opinion on something. I really want to get this figure. I gotta be careful, because once I stream this, I actually left my name up there. I want to buy this. I mean, it comes out March next year, which, by the way, my birthday's in March of next year. March, you know, I could buy it for my birthday. I really want it. I like her, by the way. She is my favorite goddamn character. I want her. The things I would do to her, I cannot say on stream. I cannot say on stream the things that I would want to do to her. I have a thing for her. Okay? I don't know what it is. I do like short chicks. Yeah, she's a bit flat, but I'm willing to overlook that because she's cute and she's short. But she's also really smart. I like her intelligence. That's something else that's kind of attractive about her. She's actually quite smart. And I generally like smart women, which it's 2026, so most women aren't really that smart. So finding attractive women is really hard. So, you know, that's sexist. You're a lot. Damn it! I'm not a lot. I'm not in the lollies, but I really like her. She's... God damn it. What you need us for. You might marry Jap. I wouldn't mind her. But I like the figure. It's really good. And I love the chessboard as well because I love chess. And it's such a good looking figure. I kind of want to get it. But I just spent like... I just pre-ordered two Fates figures. Because I just ordered... Oh, let's pull them up. I ordered these two. Both together. Which both come out at the same time. So I've got those on order. Which Asian women would I like to marry in the future? Her. Like, literally her. I don't know. I just like... I mean, I like chicks with boobs, but it's like... I'm willing to overlook a chick with not as big boobs if she's cute and she's smart. Because it's like... I've been asked out by chicks before that are not smart. Right? I've had a chick actually ask me out, and I've literally sat there in my brain and gone, I cannot date you. You are too stupid to date. And I literally said it to my friend once. I actually both of my friends, and I told them that I was like, oh yeah, this chick that we knew, she asked me out, and I was just like, and they're like, oh really? And I was like, yeah. And I just said straight up, I said no, I couldn't date her. She was too stupid. Just make yourself a fun me for her. I need to start really making more content. And that's the thing. I need my videos to do well. See? I need to clickbait so I can make money so I can spend it on anime figures. So then I can build the back room and have a massive catalog of like top tier figures. There is a color changing paint based temperature that set should have used it for the novelty. I have no idea, but that sounds cool. But yeah, it's just fun fact. Yeah, a chick asked me out once, and she was just generally that stupid. I couldn't date her. I was just like, I can't. I didn't say it to her. That was what was in my mind. I was like, I can't. You're too stupid. It was like talking to a toddler to me. I like dumb girls fictionally only. Okay. I mean, I don't expect, like, if I date a chick, she doesn't have to be Einstein smart, right? She doesn't have to be like a Elon Musk or Einstein smart or some genius with an IQ of like 160 or something, like, or even 140. But she just needs to be smart enough that I can actually have a conversation with that feels stimulating. And there's just a lot of chicks these days don't have the IQ intelligence to even formulate a sentence without it making me cringe. Like, I literally will try and have a conversation with a lot of chicks, and it's like trying to have a conversation with a toddler with brain damage. Because it's just like, they're just like, duh, duh, duh. It's just like, what? What are you trying to say to me? It's like reading Twitter comments sometimes. That's what it's like sometimes having a conversation with a woman. Date and marry Elon Musk? Duh. Hey, if I can get some money. If he could slide me $1 billion, just a small loan of $1 billion, that'd be nice. So that's just, yeah. Yeah, marry Elon Musk. If Elon Musk was a chick, sure. I'm not into dudes though. So. But that's just a fun fact. It's why I'm probably still single. Because I at least want a chick that has some I mean, be his new Amber Heard. I could probably cosplay better than her. Just do some of my cosplays. Though I can't fit into my maid outfit because I've got naturally fat. I've just gained weight, which is good, but it's still, I can't fit into it. A small loan of $1 billion. Yeah, I just want $1 billion, bro. Just $1 billion. Or at least give me like 10, 20 million. I just want enough money that I can build the back room. That's what I want to build. I want to take, because I've got a shed just out here, and I want to get rid of the shed, and I want to build a room, like a big, massive room. I want it air conditioned. I want it, of course, I want electric, like power connected to it. But I also want some plumbing there as well, so I can have a toilet and a bathroom in there. But I want a massive back room where I can fit all my anime figures. So I can put my computer desk, I can put all this stuff in there and have a massive, like, a catalog of all my books, all my game stuff, everything. I want, like, everything out there. So I want to build a massive back room. But I don't know how much that would cost me. It probably cost me probably around $150,000. So probably maybe around that. So that's what I want to save for. I want to actually try and grow the channels and my platforms so that I can make the money to build that back room. Maid outfit stream when it can fit. I have 2 maid outfits and they don't fit me. So I'd have to get a new maid. I could try and fit into it, but the zipper doesn't go up the top because it doesn't fit me. But yeah, I want to get like a back room. I've talked about it on one of my other streams where I talked about how I wanted to get a back room done and I wanted a server out there so I could set up like a private form site for a server. But that's like another project on top of that project that would need to be done. So that's what I want to get done, because I want to be, because these rooms aren't big enough to hold all the figures that I'd end up having. So I want to be able to build a back room and just have it all with good lighting, good electrical, good air conditioning, good plumbing, and just have that as like the weeb hall, the hall of weebs, right? And just have like really cool shit out there. Get a bigger one or do half up. So yeah, and then I can put all my books out there too, so I can get bookshelves out there and everything. It'll be a big room, like a really big room, because I'll take the entire shed and I'll build it into a room. And then I'll just extend that room to just having a bit of a veranda so I can have my car under there. So instead of storing the car in the shed, it would just be a back room. You'd probably spend about 300k with the server and everything. I'd rather just focus on getting the room done first. And not worrying about the server right now. The server's like a later thing. I could probably build a server probably for quite cheap, because I know how to build one, a decent one at least. But I just want to focus on the room. So that's what I want to save up for. Right? It's just a personal goal. And if I can do it, I'd take the channel on the ride on it. Like, I'd vlog it, right? I'd vlog it, I'd do diaries. I'd have to be careful, because I don't really want to dox myself, right? So I'd have to be careful. So I would probably do like a bit of a video vlog diary kind of thing and take everyone on a journey on it. But I'd have to be very careful about it. So it would be fun, but I think it'd be really cool, because then we could just go on that journey and have fun about it. But I just want to make better content, right? I want the channel to do better. I want to get more views and that kind of stuff, so that I can inevitably do that kind of stuff and be able to afford that kind of stuff. I don't want to, sit there and e-beg. I'm not a VTuber, so I just want to work hard to be able to do that. So I want to make good content, but sometimes that requires you, making some little heavy clickbaited titles. I need to watch Irakan. Hire an emu to be your bodyguard? But I could always ask my financial advisor and ask him to get me into contact with some builders and maybe get a quote. But I don't really want to get a quote if I don't have the money for it yet. You live in Australia. I don't plan to visit hell anytime. See, that's why I'm safe there. Nah, he needs kangaroo. Emus are pretty fast. So, oh yeah, I was watching that one too. I like that one. I've watched 2 episodes of that. That's a really good anime. Get poisonous snakes. Nah, I don't need poisonous snakes. I don't need those. Emus kill snakes very easily. But it's a long project, right? So I want to save up at least $150,000 and then maybe ask my financial advisor and be like, hey, can you get me in contact with a builder or something that could maybe give me a quote? And at least then I'd have an idea of what I would need left if I need a little bit more or a little bit less to save up, and then go about it doing it that and then get that room built out. And then instead of recording in this room, I'd be recording in that room and I'd be streaming in that room, and so then you could see everything in that room. So that's kind of what I want to do. I think it'd be really cool. And I know an electrician, a local electrician, that would do a lot of the work pretty cheaply as well. The electrical work probably wouldn't even cost me that much. Probably at most maybe $2,000 to do all the electrical work for that building. Because I've had electrical work done to this house, and I've not even spent over $1,000 with getting a lot of stuff done fixed here. Because there was a bunch of stuff that was broken when my mother passed away that I had to get fixed. But I want to try and, like I said, I want to try and build on the content. I want to stream more. I want to do more content. I want to do more anime reviews, do more news stuff, do more stuff. But I want to try and rebuild the channels. And I'm hopeful that I can do that. And that's why I appreciate all the support. So. Are they dubbing this? It's dub Hindu. I want an English dub that's actually good for that. I do like my dubs when they're done properly. Someone said that they censored this. I'd have to look into that. That's on High Dive. Brother. I haven't started watching that yet. I watched the first season. Cover drama as well. I probably will. I'll probably cover more drama on this channel just to try and make some extra money. But also there is some stuff that I generally care about talking about. It's not just like I'm covering drama because I want to just farm money. I also do want to cover some drama that I generally do care about. There are some topics that I generally care about. For example, the recent one, the Yuri Fans Attack anime, I talked about that. I need to do a video called What Makes a Tourist, because I made a What Makes a Grifter. I need to talk about what makes a tourist. That video is, I've been meaning to do that video for a while. So at some point I'll probably do that video. But my videos in general have actually been doing a little bit better on the channel. My last 2 videos got 5,000 views, which is pretty good. So I'm starting to slowly pick back up on some of the views. So I just want to keep building on that. Just checking. Yeah, actually it did pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, it's kind of funny because I think Chibi just made a tweet about an hour ago. Actually, 2 hours ago. Important notice, you don't throw stones at people wanting you. Nah, if they're gonna low blow, you return it back 120% given the chance. Having rigid pacifism only crumbles. You know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. Chibi has really grown some balls recently. Like, he has really grown some balls. Because he's really been someone that hasn't really liked calling out a lot of people. But he's much more willing to call out people in general now. Do you know who 414 Anime? He left YouTube a while ago. Yeah, I'm good friends with 414 Anime. Very good friends with him. We talk every now and again, privately. Are you going to play Crimson Desert in the future? Probably not. Probably not. I don't mind doing, like, playing games on stream. And to be honest, I actually do enjoy playing games on stream. The problem is one, I have a thing that I have to fix with my computer. I'm just going to check it. Yeah, still not working. I need to fix something with my computer before I probably start playing games. Because sometimes this left screen goes black. I think I know what the problem is. But if anyone has a difference in opinion on it, my graphics card fan won't turn on properly. Do you know why 414 Anime left YouTube? He hasn't left YouTube. He's just doing other content on other channels. He does a lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff now. Mainly Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. You'd have to go find his other channels. But my graphics card fan, it doesn't spin. It's got 3 fans on it. When I turn the computer on, the fans will turn on for a short period of time. And then they turn off. And they won't turn on. I think it's because the power supply isn't getting enough power to it. So I think I need to get a different power supply. I might just get one that has more power on it. Because I think I got a 650 watt power supply. I might get a 750 instead. No, I think I have a 750 and I'm going to get an 850. I think. I'd have to check. But for some reason my graphics card the fans won't spin when the computer's fully on. Power issue, that's what I thought too. I think it's a power issue, that there's not enough power getting to the graphics card. Funny enough, the graphics card has not overheated. Which is funny enough. But there's a lot of fans, so it keeps it pretty cool. But I think I need to get a new graphics card. I could probably order one from a local store and have it delivered to the house. It just means I have to make an account with them. Because I don't want to drive to the city to go get it. Because it's an hour drive. And it's a pain in the ass to park in the city. And I don't want to park in the city. Parking in the city is annoying. Unless I ask my friend to drive me there because I'm too lazy. I might ask him this weekend. Because it would cost me about 120 bucks to get a new power supply. It's on special, so 40% off. So I might ask him. Might message him tomorrow. What's your GPU? I can't remember. I've still got the receipt because I got to claim it on tax. Definitely a power supply. What's your current graphics card? My current graphics card. Guys. Alright, I'll pull up the receipt. Give me a second. I'm not going to show everything. Because I don't want my personal information. I don't want to kind of give away where I get stuff. But. Alright, I'll show all the specs. There we go. That's the specs. Love the way it's got the word surcharge in there. You can look in Task Manager. Can I? It's Windows, so I don't know how to bloody navigate through Windows half of the time. I mean, I built it myself. But yeah, that's the specs. Graphics card is that one there. Is anyone switching to Linux? If Linux was easy to navigate through, sure, but it's such a pain in the ass. But then so's bloody Windows too. But everything's compatible with Windows. I want Steam to make their own operating system. It might generally be a something wrong with the ports. It could be. Because it turns on when the computer turns on, right? So when I turn the computer on, like I turn it off, I turn it back on, the fans will turn on for a short period. They'll go fast and they'll slow down. They'll go fast, they'll slow down. And then after, once it gets like to the boot screen, like once it gets to the Windows screen, then they just turn off and they don't turn back on. And they never turn back on. But it never overheats because there's so many fans going anyway, so it's generally cooler. But I kind of want to get it fixed because I don't feel comfortable. Have you ever read the manga version of Freezing? If so, how to find the uncensored version? I can't. I've got the mangas for it in the other room. I can't find the missing volume because it's got an R scene in it and they banned it. So I can't complete the collection. So I generally stopped collecting it. I don't like changing what I'm used to. Yeah, I don't like changing windows because from different operating systems because I'm generally used to it. But yeah, the graphics card I've got is a decent good graphics card. Like I got all good specs and stuff. But it's just, I think it might be the power supply because it's a... What's the power supply again? It's a 750 watt. So it might be the power supply. I mean, someone said check the power supply. I might check it after stream. I might do that after stream because then I can actually check if it's that. But yeah. Have you watched Tune Into the Midnight Heart? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. But yeah, I might see if my friend wants to go to the city this weekend. I just hate driving through the city, but fuel's expensive. I'll just buy him dinner. If he drives to the city, I'll buy him dinner. We'll go to a sushi place. And I'll shout him dinner if he drives me to the city, because then we can go for to the local anime and manga store and check out what stuff they've got there. I'll message him that tomorrow because it's late. It's like 2 o'clock at night. Do you have a strong preference for these sort of animes you watch? I like romance animes. I just like to live my shit romance life through romance animes because my romance life sucks. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I don't really want to go over the other stuff that I have because I might save the Monta Sensei video because I try not to make every stream Monta Sensei streams. There's no offense to him. It's just one of those where it's like, if I react to every video he does, every stream, then I don't do any other stuff. So I like to try and vary it up a little bit. Do you want to convince them you have censored content or unconventional, then you have uncensored content? I'm confused there. Do you know any tips on how to buy a manga at a cheaper price other than bootleg one figure and such too? I generally get my figures from a sort of local distribution service on a website for Australia. So my advice on where to buy manga in your country is probably bad because mine is only for Australia. You'd have to sift around and look around. But yeah, I think that's really everything. I mean, it's been almost 3 hours since I've been streaming. Even with that other broken part of the stream that we covered, which was kind of funny because bloody camera broke. So I don't even know actually how long that stream went for. I actually kind of want to check. It went for 20 minutes, that stream went for, and then it broke. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I think we'll end stream here. I appreciate everyone dropping by. I'll try and find some other interesting stuff to cover. But I feel like we kind of ranted about stupid drama, high school stuff, which I really didn't really want to waste. But I just kind of get really annoyed with kids these days. There is a lot of censorship stuff going on when it comes to Europe, Australia, the US, when it comes, and Japan as well. So I might do a video on that, try and do a bit of an update on that kind of stuff, especially with the censorship stuff going on with Australia. I think they're trying to go after Steam and stuff, so I might cover that in a separate video, but we'll see. So again, much appreciated. Hopefully we stream more. I'll do maybe a summon event for Neon when she comes out, so that will be fun. Not that I think I'm really going to roll for her. I'll probably just buy her on the thing, so we'll see. If you make it easy, you'll get... Okay.